For this art activity, it's super easy, super fun, super messy, also fun, but you don't really need much, which is really great. So you just need a bowl of any size, fill it with some water. You can put it outside since it's cold enough, or I actually have some started in my freezer. You can put it in there with your ice cream. And then you only need a little bit of salt, you don't need much. And then food coloring or liquid watercolors, those are optional. It's just to kind of help see the water as it trickles down your ice block. I would also get some sort of basin or pan to catch the water, because what we're going to do is pull the ice block out of the freezer. We're going to put it into this basin, and you'll just take a little bit of salt, sprinkle it on top, and as it melts the ice, it's going to create these tiny little rivers throughout. And then you can add the food coloring or liquid watercolors to it in order to see those little rivers forming. And then it creates a really pretty art piece depending on what colors you decide to use. So we will check back in with that once my ice has completely frozen. All right, so we've got our ice block. Mine didn't freeze all the way. It's got like a little air bubble in there, which is kind of cool. It might do some cool things. So all we need is just a little bit of salt, and you can pour this in your hand and then just take some and sprinkle it in a couple of places and watch and see what happens. It might take a little bit, but it's a fun little experiment to kind of watch. Right now, mine's kind of crackling, which is kind of cool. So let's see what happens. We'll put some, sit down. Sit down. There we go.
Sit.
Yeah, it's cold. There we go. Yeah, it's so cold. All right, so I'm gonna bring this over here so you can see what's happening. All right, as the salt kind of falls down, as she's pointing out to you, it's creating these little rivers, these little valleys in there, because it's melting the ice. It's making all of this water and it's flowing down. So that's happening all over our ice block. Yeah. All right, so what we can do now is find one of those little salt patches and put a little bit of food coloring where you saw that. Blue, yeah. Yeah, that's blue. You can also do this with watercolors. And just watch it kind of fall down the sides, which is really cool. You can do this on the whole ice block. Makes it look really cool. This is what happens when you got salt melting the ice. Creates little rivers there. And it finally went through. Cool. I can see the yellows starting to mix in there. I don't know if you can see that down the bottom. So it melted all the way through. Let's see if I can. There you go. See that? Pretty cool. All right, let's make some ice day ice cream. So what you will need is a small bag, like a sandwich sized bag. You're going to need a large gallon size or freezer storage bag, a bowl of ice, some table salt, This is a cup of cream. You can also use a cup of milk, or if you want a different flavor, you can do chocolate milk. We also have some vanilla extract if you want to do vanilla ice cream. So this is a teaspoon of vanilla extract and a tablespoon of sugar. So the first thing you will want to do is take your small bag, open it up, and just pour in your milk or cream into the bag. And then you'll add in your tablespoon of sugar and your teaspoon of vanilla. And then make sure to seal this bag really well. If you need to use some tape, that's gonna probably be preferred for you too. And just make sure to mix it all up really well. Just kind of shake it around, make sure that sugar really kind of spreads around. We're gonna shake this more later, so that sugar is gonna have a chance to dissolve. Now set that aside and take your big plastic bag, and you're gonna pour your ice in there, and take your salt and just put in a pretty good amount. It doesn't really have a specific measurement, just put in a good amount in there. And now seal it up and move the ice around just to get that salt spread around pretty evenly, kind of like we did with the milk bag. And now open it back up, set that milk bag inside there. And now you're going to seal this up. And now what's happening is this freezing point depression. What's the energy from the heat in the milk is transferring to the ice. And since the ice is a little bit colder with that salt on there, it's transferring its energy into the milk. And so this energy transfer means that the ice will lose its cold and the milk is gonna get colder, forming crystals in the milk and eventually ice cream. But while you're doing this, it actually feels really, really cold. So I recommend taking a towel, wrapping it really well around your bag. Has the added benefit of if there's any leaks, it's gonna catch all those and make it less of a mess. And kind of, I like to hold it from the ends, kind of like one of those little candies. And what you're going to do now is for about 5 minutes, shake it really vigorously. And keep shaking it. Just keep shaking, just keep shaking. And then after 5 minutes, you can check on the ice cream. You can kind of feel it and see if it's solidified. If it hasn't, then just wrap it back up and shake some more until it's solidified. All right, I've been shaking this for a while. I think it might be ready. It does feel a little like solidified. You can also tell that the ice has melted a little bit, so the energy transfer has at least taken place. So let's open it up and see if we made ice cream. All right. So it does feel like we got something going on in there. So opening it up, definitely on the sides of the bag there is some formed pretty well. It could probably use a little bit more time for the rest of it, but we got some ice cream going on there. And of course, it's my Ice Day ice cream treat, so I'm gonna give it a try. Yep, pretty good.